All right, welcome back to another episode of the Wired Sound podcast. Today we have a very special guest hailing all the way from Berlin. Our first Zoom interview because he's been absolutely crushing it. So I'm just happy we can get him on. We have Ely Oaks. How you been, man?
Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to do the first Zoom interview here. I've been great. I've been touring a lot. I've been making a lot of music, and just been having a great time, to be honest.
Yeah, you've been on fire. It's
Yeah,
like I see your name everywhere. I think I can't scroll throughout TikTok without seeing one of your videos popping up. So
love
I
to hear
love it.
that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So tell people a little bit about yourself, the sound you've been going for, what you've been doing, and I mean you've just been really crushing it. So just maybe tell people a little bit about that.
Thanks for the nice words, buddy. I really appreciate that. So as you said, I'm based in Berlin. I'm originally from a small country called Austria, which is to the south of Germany. Grew up in the mountains actually, and moved to Berlin about 3 years ago when I really wanted to get music seriously going, which also kind of changed my life, to be fair. And yeah, I've been trying to find the sound for this project for quite some time. So I started I've been making music for quite a while now, but I started the project in 2023 or two.
Okay.
So kind of around we're still where Corona was
Yeah.
was
Okay.
going on. And it took me I would say about a year to really find a type of music that worked
Hmm.
for me. And I did a lot of songwriting sessions here in Berlin. So for everyone who is in the songwriting scene probably knows that hustle. So you just walking through studio sessions every day, trying to make great songs, which can be tough, writing hit songs is a big challenge.
Yeah.
And I realized that I didn't work too much on my artist project, but I actually wanted to grow the artist project, and I wanted to really start touring again, and so that was my goal. And I started to change the approach a little bit and got more into TikTok, and um, it actually started off with German, a classic German song that I
Okay.
really cheaply flipped into techno. Really was terrible. It was really bad. I did it in a few maybe it took me maybe 10 minutes, and then that thing kind of took off, and I was like, oh, that's how it works. I'm just
Just trying it out.
you
Yeah.
yeah, you flip samples, and you can go really viral with that. So I started to dig way more into that, and that's basically how all of the big songs now came together. And yeah, I would say I'm really heavily influenced by everything that's going on music wise here in the underground scene. Eurodance is really big now.
Yeah.
Um,
Like 140
Europe,
BPM. Yeah. Just like upbeat
yeah,
bass
one for
line.
actually, yeah, actually, maybe even a bit faster,
Like
150,
150.
160.
Okay.
But that kind of short, trancy kicks with that really short, clicky bass
Yeah.
sound. That's what kind of a lot of people in Europe go crazy for. I don't know how it is in the States, if that
It,
arrived in the States already.
it's still on the tech house wave. I'm hoping because I love that stuff. I'm hoping it'll start to flip, but I think the U.S. is behind Europe. I think it goes like Europe, the U.S., and then like Asia is like the last frontier
Yeah.
with the genres. But that's awesome. I mean, so this is a relatively like newer project for you being 22. I think that's a massive growth in like just a couple years. Before this, what were you doing in music? Were you like more on the back end, or were you working on another project as an artist?
Yeah, I
Okay.
was doing another project before that, which was we did like bass house and stuff.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Kind of that wave back in the 2018, 2019 kind of era. Um, yeah, and like still at that time, like I wasn't doing music full time since actually around 1.5 years ago. I was still always working a little bit on the side. And obviously always had that goal in mind to
Mhm.
because it was always my biggest passion. I always knew that everything else I did didn't really spark my interest as much as music did. So yeah, I just think when I discovered how music kind of works on TikTok and how stuff can go viral on TikTok, that was definitely the changing moment for my career and
Yeah.
really took it to another level. Yeah.
What made you want to make the switch? Were you just not feeling the sound from your old project as much, and you just wanted something fresh?
Yeah, I've like before that, I always felt a little bit like trapped inside some boundaries where like you gotta make music that way or that way.
Yeah.
Like you're in those bounds and you can't really get out of them. And now I just feel like, I let the people decide what kind of stuff they think is great. Like I just do what
What feels
I
right?
just put out these clips on TikTok, and then at the end of the day, the people are the reason why stuff goes viral. So they see it and they're like, "Oh, this catches my attention. I
This
like
is the
to.
one.
This is the one, yeah." And that's what makes it go viral, because when they start interacting, start saving it, start commenting on it, being like, "Yo, Eli, when do you finally drop that freaking song? It's been 2 weeks."
Yeah.
Um, that kind of makes it first all over TikTok, and so it's in the people's hands to decide what's good. And I just try out, and to be fair, the stuff, like when I take a look at my Spotify, my top songs now, they're like, I would have never thought maybe 3 years ago that that kind of stuff could be commercial, because
Mhm.
I think it's the way I produced it is quite, like, I would say, edgy. It's very fast. It's
Yeah.
very like I like gnarly synth kind of like and but kind of like it really works well,
Yeah.
and that's
It
so much fun. Yeah.
it has your personality, and I think that's what makes people attached to an artist, is something that's distinct about you that no one else is giving them as the audience. And that's super interesting. So you're using the audience to kind of like test out what projects or what songs to like pursue further. Is that right? Is that
That's 100% correct. Like, we sometimes do classic releases,
Mhm.
like we sometimes, like, do the classic, we schedule, like, we have a song that we like, we schedule it, we give it 3 weeks of time, um schedule it, release it, but I gotta say, it's like, now for me, those releases most of the time don't work so well than the ones that do really well on TikTok. And yeah, I mean, obviously we're doing some official remixes and stuff that are
Yeah.
also more classic. Like I just did one for Doc Cameron, for example,
Oh, sick.
which wasn't one that we like tested on TikTok. It was, they asked us, and we were like, "Yeah, it's a great chance to be
Mhm.
on a really high stake name uh profile, and like, actually an honor to do a remix for her." So um that's where we don't test something out on TikTok before we make a full version. We release it, and that one actually, it didn't like go crazy viral on TikTok or anything, but it still
Yeah.
worked. Like, people kind of connected a bit, but the stuff that really worked out was TikTok first, then, you know, rushing, trying, like, putting
To
in,
get it out.
um, yeah, like doing everything to release it as fast as somehow possible. And we kind of like with the two last releases that are doing crazy, like comparably crazy numbers. We kind of broke up traditional rules because we didn't give the release any time before. Like
Or
usually
like
you would.
editorial, or like you're trying to,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
You know the drill. You usually give it like 2 weeks minimum. That's what
Yeah.
labels would tell you. You need
Yeah.
like minimum 2 weeks to properly pitch it.
This podcast is sponsored by Wired Sound Academy. If you want to become a DJ or music producer and you live in South Florida, you should check out Wired Sound Academy. They have 4-week classes. It'll get you there from point A to point B and get you touring in no time. Check it out, wiredsoundacademy.com. Yeah. The traditional model is kind of dying out, right? And it's just putting stuff out there and just kind of seeing what sticks and just running with it.
Yes, yes, yes. Break the rules. Breaking the rules. Give literally giving the people what they want, letting the people decide, and that's a great era of time we live in now, where the people get to decide, and then you're just gonna provide it for them, and they're gonna be happy, and they're gonna give back and stream stuff like crazy.
Yeah, it's a bit
Yeah.
more maybe freeing as an artist too, because like I think the old industry standard of you have to like wait for people to approve it, and like it just could be a bit discouraging, because I've been on the other side where I'm waiting for emails back, I'm waiting for approvals, and so hearing you as like one of the like biggest like new artists, and just kind of just putting it out there, seeing what sticks, and that's what's worked. I think that should be the new blueprint for artists, is like don't wait for people to hop on the record or for a label to sign off on it, but instead just post about it, and if people like it and relate to it, then just get it out there as quickly as possible. And
Yeah, yeah. It's actually crazy. I think like that whole concept, as you just said, having waiting for people to jump on your record to make it bigger and stuff. I still believe that sometimes works with like, especially in the States, you have like artists that are so huge, where you would probably always benefit from them having them on the record. Like you
yeah,
would never say, like I would always wait for like a Charlie XCX feature, or something like that,
yeah,
But like,
unreal.
yeah, but like I think other than that, just if something works on TikTok, just be confident and just put it out. And also be confident to try stuff on TikTok, and if it like doesn't connect, it's also don't take it too personal. It's just try the next thing, try the next thing. Like that's like you can't imagine how many remixes that I like put on my TikTok who were like performed
Didn't perform
really,
well.
really bad. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because just people didn't really click to it. And that's totally fine, like it's just part of the game, and that's something I think nobody should be discouraged from. Like just keep on like pushing, and then I think the more you do it, the more you get kind of sense what's
What?
TikTokable and what's not,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
say.
I've had little tastes of it. Like I had one song that was it was called House Music Baby, and it was all about like you can't afford a house, but at least you got house music. Like that was the hook. The problem
Yeah, I
uh,
probably know that one. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But anyways, it did well on TikTok. But it was just, I guess the thing I struggle with as an because I'm an active artist as well, is just trying to find stuff that's makes sense for TikTok, but it's still true to my like artist sound. Because I did that one just like because it was kind of funny, like a funny idea, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But there's so many songs that I want to just make like the feel good melodic stuff, and it just doesn't translate on TikTok. So I think maybe some artists struggle with that. And maybe it's just not the relevant sound, or people are just not vibing with it. And we just got to get over it as artists and find the stuff that connects with people.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like um that like most genres have the possibility to kind of go viral. You just need to find those little viral moments, and it almost feels like there's a chemical, you know,
Can,
some special mixture that has to be in it to connect on
Yeah.
TikTok. It almost feels like there's some
It's the
some
algorithm.
witchcraft that, yeah, it's some witchcraft that's on some type of, vocal hooks, and then I think what you're building out of that, you can like go nuts and really put your own artistry into like what you build around.
Hmm.
So I think like when it comes to the production side, you can go really, really crazy on it. And
Yeah.
what really helps it that you have these certain kind of like, most of the time the same hooks would work over and over again on TikTok. So
What do you think is more important, the like the visual aspect of the video or the song itself?
100% the song,
Okay.
at least for me, because I'm not like, I would never call myself a good content creator. Because I'm like, of course, I got into the whole thing kind of, I'm doing the basics. Like, I'm taking care that when I'm filming, that the light is good, like
Hmm.
that I feel that I like to see myself in a way where I don't feel like, oh, you look totally trash.
Okay. So like putting yourself
Um,
together, like what would you say like the main three things to a good video would be for like for your music? Because I think maybe a lot of musicians we struggle, right? We're in the studio all day making music, so it's hard for us to figure out the right way to tie it in to ourself, where it's not like just a dark lit studio room of us making a song.
yeah, like I don't even really, I have one thing, and I think that has the one thing that connects is if it's authentic, which I think is a really nice thing nowadays. You don't have to like fake it, and
Hmm.
like the only thing that I take care of is that I carry like a source of light when I'm in, if you're in in the studio and it's dark, just carry any source of light, like $20 Amazon
Hmm.
influencer shit light,
Just something to light it up so it will at least look
something to light up your
decent.
face. I think it's not so good if your face is dark, but then still I saw people like going viral in a dark location just because of the music.
Mm.
So, for me, I would say it's like 90% music and then 10% video.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think that
Yeah.
might put a lot of musicians off from creating content is they're worried that they have to have it some kind of proper setup or more professional kind of thing. But you're saying like it's just
It's
set it up, get the shot, put it out there, see how
Yeah,
people
a hundred
react.
percent, 100%. So, I think take the music, like put the music first, which is such a nice thing, right? We're musicians, we want to make music. We're not influencers. We're not like, we
Content
just want to
creators,
make,
yeah.
yeah, we want to make fire music. Like that's our passion. And it's, I feel like it's a wrong perception of people that they think that nowadays they have to be full on content creators. Yeah, put the music first. Don't think too much about the content. I saw people going viral with like the shittiest content,
Hmm.
Um,
All right, so
nice.
all right, switching gears from content, but obviously amazing work on what you've been doing and how you've been building a career. So you've been touring a lot, right? Now with the other project you were working on, were you touring a decent amount as well? The project before you started Ely Oaks, or was it? Were you touring
So
before this, or
yes, yes. So with the old project, that it was a dual project, and we were called Suta, and we were touring a bit in the like in Europe.
okay,
We weren't like we weren't going fully crazy on it, but we like had a good year like before COVID, and then COVID kind of
fucked it?
tore the project apart a little bit. And yes, that's when I started Eli Oaks, and I wasn't touring probably for 2, 3 years between that. So almost like maybe like one-offs. But like there wasn't really much going on for me after shows were coming back because I kind of didn't really want to do the old project anymore.
Yeah.
And the new project wasn't at a point where anyone would book me, to be fair. So yeah, I just kept on grinding, and now I have definitely the fullest calendar I ever had in my life,
Yeah.
and it's really nice. Just very grateful for that, and a few little dreams coming true. You know, I'm gonna do my first US show in August, which
Oh,
is insane
amazing.
for me.
Do you know where at yet, or can you announce?
Yes, it's announced already. It's I'm playing with Timmy Trumpet in
Okay.
Brooklyn Mirage in
Oh my,
NYC,
that's gonna be
which
unreal.
is absolutely insane. And yeah, it's a crazy feeling as you know a European to get your visa to the States and play there for the first time. It's just unreal, totally
Yeah.
unreal.
Yeah, it's a bit
Yeah,
of a process, right, to get the visa and all that stuff. I had to do it for I
it's
played in China and it was such a pain to get approval to do it. But yeah, I'm sure
yeah,
you
yeah. So for us Europeans, it's quite a tough process and it's really expensive.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah, but I'm happy to have it and yeah, can't
it'll
wait.
be worth it. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I saw you played Boots House in Germany. Is that the right way to say it?
Yes,
Okay.
almost. It's like Bootshaus.
Boots House. All right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Legendary venue. Was that your first time playing, or had you played there before?
Second time I played
Okay.
there last summer. But to be fair, second time was that one was really really good. The first
Yeah.
time was a bit tricky. I was supporting ALOC,
Okay.
um, and it was kind of like ALOC headline show, and I wasn't, you know, big enough to like. I was just supporter back then,
Yeah.
and I played after him because his like he has quite strict rules what you gotta play in
Oh, I
front of
know.
him if he's doing
Yeah.
like a
I,
headline show.
I've seen the Do Not playlist. He played here
Okay.
at the Hard Rock, and my buddy was opening. But yeah,
Oh, really? So you probably got the same
yeah. So
brief.
I know how it goes.
Well, I saw the brief and I was like, I can't play a single
Yeah,
track either from myself nor from my set. You know, I would have need to make a full new set. So I
yeah,
was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna play the slot after him, which was really late. And when he stopped, like, I mean, there were obviously a lot of Brazilian fans like in
yeah.
there.
That
And
cleared
the
out. Yeah,
moment he stopped playing and went out, like, um, I ended up with like maybe half the crowd, and that just is never a good way to start a
yeah.
set.
It's a hard balance, but I've definitely done it as well. But yeah, I think what you've been doing and just like kind of just the way you built your following is just it's going to be a really amazing thing to see how far and how big you get because you already have so much hype and everything going the right way. So I think you're going to be one of the top guys, and you know like you'll be able to send out that do not playlist and within the next year.
I hope I will never do that because it kind of feels
Yeah, I know.
shitty.
The worst one I had, not that they, you know, it was opening for Zed, right? Which obviously nicest
Mhm.
guy ever. But they sent me the do not playlist. The people that booked me mid set, and I was like already up there playing, and I was like, oh shit, they just sent me this, and I was like in the middle of playing one of the tracks. It was like a temperature edit, and I was like,
Really?
oh. But
Oh
you know, at
shit.
that point, they probably couldn't expect me to not play them. But
Yeah,
I was trying
yeah.
to read it simultaneously while I was playing my set. I was like, this is not
Oh
good.
Lord.
But
Oh Lord,
yeah,
that's bad.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
awesome.
but
But it worked.
but then it's on them for not sending it quickly enough.
Yeah, it worked out. He didn't. He was the
Yeah.
nicest guy ever.
Okay, good.
So awesome. All right. So first U.S. show coming up, and then so as far as music, do you have like release schedules, or are you just kind of like throwing it out there, seeing what sticks, and that's your release schedule? And
Yeah, it's basically as you said. Like I don't really want to plan much ahead, and like if we get like the official remixes in, those are the ones that we obviously plan. Like
mhm.
we got a few of them like coming up now. Um, there's actually one coming out in like 1.5 hours for
Sick.
Rudimental and Khalid, which is super sick. Like Khalid is such a
Oh
big,
wow.
like such a big voice.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Having that on my profile, and also Rudimental, I've been like a Rudimental fan since the
Legend.
beginning,
Yeah.
and so yeah, those are obviously like scheduled a bit ahead. I think that one was like we kind of knew since 3 weeks that this one's coming tomorrow. But other than that, it's like literally we
Make it.
kind of check what's happening on
Yeah.
TikTok, and then it's like it's always a rush then, but I kind of I feel like I'm almost starting to get a little bit addicted to that rush, you know. It's
Yeah.
like that, like, yo, okay, we got something, we gotta, you know, a lot of times you gotta have to clear it really fast,
Hmm.
because I do a lot of remixes, and obviously you gotta clear it
Yeah.
before putting it out. Then sometimes you have to replay the vocals because the singer doesn't want to be on the record.
Hmm.
You got to do new vocals. You got to finish up the arrangement. I usually have 20 seconds snippets.
I know.
So
Meanwhile, you
it's
have people in the comments like badgering you, being like, "When are you gonna
yeah,
drop it?"
yeah, 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 yeah.
Little,
I'm literally getting insulted on
yeah.
like DMs on comments. Like I
Uh,
heard stuff. I heard like words that people were calling me where I was like,
and you're like, "Damn!" Like,
you know, bro, I appreciate that you really want this song, but like that's kind of heavy, you know.
yeah, yeah. That's
Um,
hardcore. But they don't know all the. This is all the behind the stuff like
yeah,
things that it
yeah,
takes to
yeah.
get a record out, and that's why there is a bit like, even 2 weeks people get angry at. But that's actually super fast in the music industry to get something out within
Yeah,
few
yeah,
weeks.
you know, we are like, it's usually like when we have that viral moment, we are like having everyone on the team focusing on that anyways, and we're like, but you still, you know, it sometimes takes maybe just 5 days to get the perfect arrangement because
Hmm.
it goes back and forth, and then, you know, I have like two A&Rs on the label side that
Okay.
I really trust them, and if one of those people say, hey, I think there might be 5% more into this, we will like do the rounds,
Yeah.
and that sometimes takes 5 days, you know, on a song.
Do you have a label?
So
Is this your label or is it a major label kind of thing?
it's an indie label,
Okay.
and it's been like a really nice journey because they signed me where the project wasn't anywhere at all, like, and like we did the first proper like single together and started working, and they kind of believed in me from the
From the
beginning,
beginning. That's awesome.
and I think now it kind of pays off. I knew that they were like doing really good stuff, so my main guy at the label, he's been working in publishing most of the time before that, and he had like records
Okay.
placed with Tiesto and a lot of A-Log records. So I kind of knew that he has a really good, you know, that he knows the game.
Yeah.
Um, and like the first time he reached out to me, it took me 1 year to to like sign with him because like at the beginning didn't want to.
Yeah.
He thought
It's
like my I think he liked my productions, but he was like, your songwriting is not good enough. So I kept sending him demos for a year, and then they signed me, and now we're at a point where it's like it feels like we built that kind of in a very small team together, and we did some crazy moves sometimes against the major labels,
yeah.
you know. But it just feels really cool,
That's awesome.
and I'm
Yeah,
yeah,
no, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That it's awesome that they're on board though with your process of like getting it out there this quickly, because that would
yeah,
probably be the major, yeah, the difference. But that's what separates you is like, but that's what a lot of these labels struggle with is they don't get stuff out quick enough. They have these 6 months, year-long release schedules, and that just completely kills
yeah,
the
yeah.
momentum for an artist.
Totally, totally. That's the thing. Like, um, you got to be so fast, and you know, I'm not blaming the major labels because they have been in the
Successful.
process for
Yeah.
so many years, like, and obviously it's so completely new. And if you're like an A&R at let's say Universal Music, and you've been doing that for 20 years successfully, you had like hits, proper hits.
Hmm.
It's kind of, I kind of understand why you wouldn't like change the system
Yeah, but
from one day to another, but I feel like that's where, to be as flexible as we are at the moment, I think it just makes us come on top as the winner sometimes now,
yeah.
where you wouldn't have any chances like indie setup 5 years ago, you know?
Yeah, like it's like the new streaming, or like it goes. It's just it's always evolving, right? The music industry. You have like it was like radio, and then it was like CDs, and then it was streaming, and now it's TikTok, but like mixed in with that. Obviously, still streaming, but you understand what I'm saying. There's an evolution, and if you don't
Yeah,
get on board with it,
yeah,
you just get left behind, and that's the game. It is, you got to be
yeah,
always. But I think you're one of the first artists that has really done it right, and like gotten it out right, because it's something I think a lot of artists struggle with, is getting it out quick enough, and then the momentum dies and it's just not there. But it's awesome you have a team on board as well, on board with you to help make it
yeah.
happen, and that's important. Awesome. We got to wrap up in a few here, but yeah. So first U.S. show coming up. Any other major stops that you're excited for this summer that you can let people know on?
Good question. A lot. I almost don't like. So there are a lot of like big festivals in Germany. Like, so Germany is still like my main kind of country where I'm touring this year. But like, it's spreading so much to international stuff as well, which is so nice. It's like the dream,
Yeah.
But like. Um, I think a lot of crazy festivals around Germany and in Germany. The first US show, I got a big festival coming up in the States, which I can't announce yet, but
Okay.
that's definitely one where I'm like, holy shit, like
Bucket
it's
list.
insane. Yeah, yeah, bucket list stuff. And yeah, I just I think just excited to go to as many countries and see as many like people from around the world who are like excited with my music and making
Yeah.
them happy with like seeing me live. That's like the greatest feeling. And then it doesn't really matter so much where it exactly is, as long as there are a lot of like happy people.
Yeah.
And
I love
yeah,
it, man. Well, I love your energy. I love everything you're doing. So, just keep crushing it. I can't wait to
pleasure.
see what you got next. Let's take a quick photo before you hop off here to commemorate it. I'm gonna do a little screenshot. Love it. Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you again, man. I'm gonna stop this recording. Thank you for listening to the Wired Sound podcast. We'll be back.